David LSI here. I'm going to be doing sharing with you a little project making a flower out of EVA foam. I learned these skills trying to make EVA foam costumes, and then I got someone asked me to help them with a costume for them that they're going to be using with their dogs, and so it required making a bunch of flowers, and I enjoyed it so much I thought I'd share. The things that we're going to, you only need a few simple things to make an EVA foam flower. First, I made a template using a politician postcard that was sent to us, and one for the leaf. This will be for the petals. I have yellow for my main flower, green to make the leaves to go with it. I've cut a stick from a tree out of in my backyard for the stem. There'll be some color decorating. I'm going to use an airbrush, but you could use a regular brush would work just as well. The two colors I'm going to need to decorate it with: contact cement to hold it together, a heat gun to form the petals and leaves, and scissors to cut it out with, and of course a pen to draw it out. I traced the number of petals I'm going to need, and in this case I'm going to be using 4. And if you notice, I did it to save be economical with my my foam. And next will be to cut the shapes out. First 3 out. I'm cutting the last one out now. The only tip I have for this part is using a scissors for this thin foam works out really nice. You could use an X-Acto knife, but the scissors works out real well if you cut in long strokes. Don't be starting and stopping, because that'll just make a jerky line. The other thing is, because you trace the outside of the template, I like to cut inside the template line so that when I'm done, there's no ink marks on my piece that I have to cover up later on or sand out. So, and as you can see, long strokes. All right. The nice thing about doing flowers is it's a natural thing, and nature isn't perfect. So little round things like that, the EVA foam really forgiving and helps it look more natural. Cut it. Template, I cut myself the 4. We need four petals and 4 leaves. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife here to slightly just scratch the surface. We're not going to. You don't want to cut through these. Just want to scratch into it the little leaf details, which are, in this case, it's 5 little cuts. 1, 2, 3, or I'm sorry, 7 cuts. Okay, and I'll do another one. And when we run these over with the heat gun, these things will expand, and it'll be a much more visual detail that you'll have. So cut it here. Using a heat gun, if you don't happen to have a heat gun, a hairdryer will not work. It doesn't get hot enough. So you could actually just heat up your iron, keep it standing, and put the foam parts against it on both sides. That'll get the foam warm enough to, on a medium setting, it'll get it foam enough ready to form. Here's the thing I was talking about with the details for the leaf. See, zoom in close if you can. Sorry. Right. If you heat it, you'll see it gets softer, and those lines start to open up. It'll also curl in the right way you want it. And when it gets to that point there, I like to pull this back and shape it down so that when it's on the stem, it gives the nice leaf curve. And as you can see the detail in the leaf in there. I'll repeat that on for all four of my leaves. Forming the petals is just as easy. We got heat it till it starts to curve. It gets hot, so I don't like to have my fingers underneath there. But once it's hot enough in there, I'll take and use my thumb and peel this petal back. So for this flower, you know, depending on what kind of flower you're making, that'll work. So that's going to be the basic of one petal, and then I'm going to repeat it for the other three. So just to the petals and the stem, I forgot to mention I got a piece of orange that'll get rolled up and be used for the inside of the flower and help support with the few pieces that these are going to end up being made what they call the I think they're called the staten, the little springy things that the bees like to get the pollen from. So that'll be added into this as well. Next step, painting the decorations. Like I said, I'm using an airbrush. You can use whatever regular brush too for this, but basically the idea is to fade in secondary color into the top, make it look more like a real flower. I'm going to do the same thing to the leaves. I'm going to add a little green to it, and then just hit X. Green, I'm going to put on just a light coating. Probably hardly even to see it, but it's mostly just to add some variation to the vegetation, because in life it's not all perfect green on the just to make it a little more realistic. It also fills in the my detail lines. I'm going to add a little color to the end of my statins in this for these to make them look a little more real, and then the next thing will be I'll be back to help assemble it. All right, longest part of the video. Contact cement on both sides. Of the strip, and we'll let that dry. So you'll see 5 here now. That's what made me realize I had it wrong. These flowers we're going to do right along the edge. Nice little thing of contact cement on both edges. Yeah. Doesn't take much. This should be dry by now, close enough. And I'm going to start by putting one flower in there, and this is one staten in there, holding it over, and keeping it rolled up nicely. A couple more rolls.
Alright, well, my costume came.
Excellent.
Pretty great.
Oh, look at that.
Obviously, black leggings. But, you know, I might need you to put a little crown. So
Yes,
I can be the
we can do
queen
that.
bee.
We can do that.
I'll
Yeah, put that down there in the pic. We're taking the video now, so you'll. That's part of the costume of the lady who
queen
commissioned
bee.
the lady who commissioned me to make this project.
There you go.
So.
But yeah.
Okay, so let that dry to finish that one up. And now the flower assembly is fairly simple. That's what I like about this stuff. Is it's very forgiving. With the contact cement being dry and not tacky anymore, we'll line it up and just push the flower together here. And we'll get a next one. And push the flower together just at the create the cone of this flower. And should have waited a little bit longer for this to dry. And the number 5. Actually, I'm going to let that dry before I try and maneuver it all back into place, and we'll be right back. Okay, give this better time to dry. So we're going to come up to the last one and put it together. Alright, and the next thing, so that we can slip it into place, we will not wait for this to dry, but I'm going to put the nice little layer of contact cement at the bottom there. We'll take our statement ring and stick it in to the bottom there. And we'll let that dry. Open this up. Alright. Once that dries, I'll finagle it a little bit better, more too. But we're getting there. Looking pretty good though, huh? So, decided that we needed, on the fly, I made a little addition here. I made myself some greenery to go along the bottom of the flower to represent the thing opened up from a bud. So I put some cut them out freehand, put some contact cement on them, and just waiting for them to dry. So that'll be the next thing I put on here, and then we'll put them on the we'll get the stem going. To finish this thing up, I've added a few more things to the supply list. I got some things from the florist tools, little flower wire and some florist tape, and the handy dandy heat gun. We're going to attach one of these wires to the back of each of the leaves. A little bit of hot glue, which I like to have a piece of this tape. Handy. Make sure when you do it, follow the veins that they'll, since it's growing up and away, the details you put in there are going up and away, so that's the bottom. And I'm going to add a little bit of the hot glue to the bottom here. I'm going to take our wire, press it in, get the extra florist tape to protect your fingers, but that gives it a nice flat, oop, sorry, jumping the gun again. It gives it a nice flat, and here I did a better job on this one. My glue gun's flat. Okay. Next will be to actually attach it to our, give the details to our flowers here. Flowers are going to hang this way, so keeping that in mind, I'm going to face my leaves in that direction. Wrap it around. Try to get it around the base on the other side. Good thing about the wire is it lets you position these when you're done. And I like to put two together. And on this flower, the other ones I've done, keep them kind of tight near the top. Florist tape, dab a little hot glue on the back of the stick. Take the florist tape, get it on there, and we'll give it a nice little tight wrap. Another little bit of glue. Finish that off. I'm going to do the same thing here and same thing up here, and I'll show you what we look like when we're all done in a few seconds when we come back. Flower, EVA flower out of foam. This is my first one of these videos for how to make a EVA foam project. More of an experiment than a actual tutorial, but hopefully if you like it, leave a comment, and if you have any questions, of course, leave a comment, and thank you for watching if you got this far through. Thanks a lot. Take care.